No, please take some. Yeah.
Councillor, before we start tonight's meeting, we've got a public forum. We've got two speakers. So I'll ask Andrew to come forward and present your case, please.
Good evening. Today I'm here to speak about three DPs, all of which are incorporated into each other and which you have two to vote on today. The first is the reclassification and subsequent sale of the community-owned land, a laneway that is used regularly by residents and visitors to access the tennis courts, the dog park, the sports ground, the swings and the play area, and as a walking track that I've now seen several times used by horse riders so they can walk off the main street. This is all in one, just to make sure. The second one will be voted on finally straight after the first and incorporates what would happen if the laneway is sold to the GHC, and then the area is then redeveloped into housing as well as two industrial estates. And finally, a DP that was lodged in May this year, but for reasons unknown except by the planning department, hasn't yet been brought before council, despite there being at least 10 submissions objecting to the industrial allotments that are proposed, which is all part of the same huge, larger area, which as far as I know now has three big things as part of it. Maybe that's why there's being held off, as maybe they don't want you to know the community's feelings for the proposed industrial allotments on the main street. Your planning department quotes that the sale of the land and subsequent development have direct or indirect connection with the proposed reclassification as outlined in the Greater Hume Community Strategic Plan, which is to support local job creation by creating industrial areas and employment opportunities, and encourage social enterprises and businesses to grow local employment. However, there is no indication as to how many jobs are going to be created, or how it will grow the local employment. Surely this needs some visibility prior to being voted on. Creating the job for one person shouldn't mean the numerous people who use the laneway are then disadvantaged. The objectives of the RU5 village zone includes to protect the amenity of residents. So, what is meant by amenity in planning? In planning terms, amenity is often referred to the quality or character of an area and the elements that contribute to the overall enjoyment of an area. Residential amenity considers elements that are particularly relevant to the living conditions of a dwelling. Putting yet more industrial allotments on the main street is in direct conflict to protecting the amenity of residents. Proposed industry is allowed. With an ineffectual fence, we have LSC, which is for load shifting equipment, rattling around and dropping who knows what all through the day, so the ground shakes and banks emanate. It is rather awkward. Heaven help you if you have babies that you need to stop. Putting this even closer to residents will be a nightmare. The Greater Hume Community Infrastructure Plan says that our community infrastructure will be designed to put the environment first. Removing the limited community land in water, which the laneway is part of, and which is regularly used to access a sports field, dog park, tennis courts by the community, is not meeting your Greater Hume Community Infrastructure Plan. Expanding it into a better walking track would be. It should be noted that some submissions lodged against the reclassification and sale of the laneway have been inexplicably lost in the planning board. This includes my submission. So how many more have been lost? I know that there were 10 submissions against more industry on Main Street for the DA 10.2023.53.1 lodged in May. Also requiring some visibility before the vote is cast tonight is where the additional 800 vehicles that are predicted to be generated each day to and from the completed development come from. This number is quoted in the Transport Planning Report Table 3. So what is this development going to have like? Even if you allow 4 cars per household, that gives you 320 cars. So where are the extra 480 cars being generated? We need the entire visibility for everything. I propose that the vote be postponed to the new year after we get further visibility as to the overall plan for DPs. It seems to me that it is like a death by 1,000 cuts, which makes good choices difficult for all of you, as you aren't seeing the whole picture, which should be the absolute minimum that is provided. Finally, it should be noted that several contaminants have been found in soil samples commissioned by Blueprint Planning And before any decision is made, I would suggest there is a plan of how this is going to be mitigated once people live on site with direct contact with the contaminated soil. I have actually suggested to people in sheds that they put aside the front sections of the development for retail, and they said they would think about it, but they couldn't actually commit. Thank you.
Question,
And you're on note that the lower football and netball clubs support the sale. Would you keep them that they are also the same meeting town plan? Was that?
I have not spoken to them. I was there at that meeting.
Yeah.
They said that they supported in principle.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else came from that. There were also rumors that whereas to that sometimes supported and sometimes supported. But at the meeting, they definitely said yes, in principle they do.
And the reasons behind that, anybody else?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, obviously, there's probably one of them made the fact that, you know, people use that money to come to the football ground and not really go and not pay to get in. No, so, but I have heard that statement, so.
No, I haven't.
And I don't know.
But I mean, the sports ground I went to, they could probably put that across there as well, just to prevent people going down that where there's that.
Well, it's obviously that no exit to it.
That's true, although they are saying that they are looking at access to anything in the other direction anyway. So they're going to have to do something. I also know that the sports ground, as far as I'm aware, they're looking for money from you guys for a grant. So clearly everyone's going to get catched up at the moment. No doubt council as well. I know that the water grant have also moved way up to some degree. On the positive points, the solar farm committee, it would be great to know what's happening with that at some point. That will generate an income to some degree for grants within Walmart, which should be able to do things like a sports committee. I'm just looking forward to when that eventually eventuates.
Thank you.
any further questions? Well, thank you. No, Karen, if you want to come forward.
Yeah, this one, Gina.
Yeah. So I'm speaking on behalf of the reclassification of the land. On page 5 of the agenda for this meeting, Gayan's report states that one submission was received after exhibition, as Annie said. That's incorrect. My submission, I do have a receipt for it. So it did actually go through that is not included in that. When exhibited, the land address is recorded as both south of 64 Commercial Street and 1 Commercial Street. The latter is actually at the other end of town, so that's a little bit confusing. Another thing, how will PJN generate jobs? If this land is classified as operational, what is the demographic of the current workers? As far as we know, it's just going to be storage. So is there more to this, as Andy said? Council also refers to the land as council land, although it is classified as community land. This has wrongly insinuated to a lot of the locals that it's a done deal and they've got no say in it. If this land is sold, how does that benefit our community? Do we receive more land for community use to replace it? I also have an issue with the reporting of the public hearing. There is a lot that's been missed, especially with my testimony. I actually asked, does Walla have a town plan? Which is what we're asked constantly. Local residents are against small light industrial buildings along Commercial Street, and they want retail space and other amenities for community use, especially if there's a housing estate going in there. Why doesn't Walla have an industrial area like Gindra and other LGA towns? That's also not noted on this report, and I did ask that. I also reviewed Daniel's statement that there are plenty of retail premises in Waller. Surely he can't mean the old supermarket, the closed Billabong Cafe, James Trivia, or the tin shed near Lishky's, all privately owned and unsuitable for lease as retail. I think the old supermarket has no floor. So, in closing, clearly due diligence has not been followed. Lack of transparency and missing elements in the background documentation is concerning and therefore warrant a postponement of this vote until all the documents are available and we have more information. Thank you.
Questions for Karen? Thank you.
Thank you.
Council got the meeting open and ask council leader to lead us in prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you that you're here with us while we're discussing all these matters. In fact, you've been with us all year and right at the end of the year now, with our last meeting, Father, I think that's been a great year. We just ask for your wisdom and guidance throughout the meeting, that we can make wise decisions that will benefit everybody within the community. And yeah, we look forward to Monday to be able to say happy birthday, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, council leader. Acknowledgement of country, and I'd like to pay my respects to the elders past and present and emerging. Apologies for that occasions for leave of absence by councillors.
So we have a leave of absence through you, Mr Mayor, councillor Shelby has placed leave of absence requesting from, all that should be in the minutes there. From 12th of December to the 12th of February.
Council leader has requested a leave of absence, that's your, sorry, for 2 months from the 12th of December to the 12th of February. Somebody care to move that?
Yes.
Councillor Wood, second, councillor O'Neill, all in favour? Councillor Carey. We move on to the confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. Mayor.
Moved by councillor Meyer, second, councillor Wood. Comments or questions? If not, the resolution all in favour, those against, declare it carried all the way. Any disclosure of interest? If not, we'll move on to council, which notice and vote.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thanks, Mr Mayor. Hang on a minute, I can get that going. Yeah, look, I'll start this notice of motion, and I'm hoping that you will support this. Albury Street has become extremely busy. When the highway bypassed it, we all had a big sigh of relief and thought, well, that's fantastic. We'll get our main street back to being the main street, which happened fairly easily. However, it's gradually just become major thoroughfare, and it's becoming quite dangerous with young people, children, kids, animals, long motor vehicles, short motor vehicles, just about everything happens there. And I'm asking that this council support representations to the traffic committee, as stated here in the recommendation, to review and decrease the speed limit in Albury Street Overall from 50 kilometres per hour to 40 kilometres per hour, which is the current school speed zone, and have that restricted to the school zone on a permanent basis. I have spoken to Mr Clancy, as I said here in the background, and he's happy to support it if we can get support around the table today. So that's my recommendation.
Have a second.
Yes, please.
Councillor Parker. That is open for discussion.
happy to support the motion, councillor Woodward, but in the course of a review, I think 40 kilometres speed limit may not be the answer. I mean, there are other, there could be maybe some traffic calming measures. Yeah. It's a long street.
It is a long street, yes.
What's not?
Can I just add that I know there are other towns in New South Wales which have reduced their speed limit from 50 down to 40 quite successfully. And it's mainly for a safety reason that that's happening. So anyway, I'll see how we go here.
Thank you. I was having a discussion with council about this same issue, and there's been a couple of close calls over the pedestrian crossing, which I've spoken to the engineer about, and he was taking that action traffic control, maybe bringing in some items a bit closer to the road, because there's been a more of a hit there. But I think it's with the angle parking is the problem with people backing out. And because there's so many cars coming and going, but I did suggest maybe from Bowler Street, up to, you know, the end of the school, is it Bowler Street? Might be where we need the limits, probably more than at the edges of town, because that's the missing part, and it's a bit, like, there's some very congested. But there's been a few close calls with elderly and children.
Those, yeah, I'm quite happy to take it to the traffic control and support it. I think that makes sense.
Thank you. Further comments? Seeing none. Put the resolution, all in favour? Those against? We're carried all the way.
Thank you, councillor.
I did miss the action report, so we did get on the minutes, so we're going to go back to that. Jump the gun. I'll be very surprised with their comments, because most of them are just crown landowners and are just idling along at a very slow pace. If nothing, we'll move on to the first item on the planners report.
Also, I move the recommendation.
Policies in there, contaminated land management. I'll take that to work, second by councillor Hicks. So, again, councillor White.
In the interest of clarity of people who read an agenda or read a minutes, can't we have a name of where that development is rather than just a number?
I will talk about the next one, against the mic.
So, well, on the contaminated land first.
My apologies.
Right. Any further comments?
No.
I'll put the resolution all in favour, those against, they're carried. Move on to number 2, which is planning proposal for reclassified part of council owned and commercial fruit law.
I'll move the recommendation.
So second,
Moved by councillor Hicks, second by councillor Forrest. Comments or questions? If not, I'll put the recommendation all in favour. Those against, carried all the way. You voting in favour, councillor Meyer?
Yes, I'm still trying to find what I'm looking for. I should get out. Yeah.
We move on to the third item. Third item is the rezoning of the land, proposed. In effort to create a new local environment plan. big subdivision. Any comments? Councillor Farrell?
Large subdivision, we comfortable with 600 square blocks of what we need.
Yeah.
Too small, I think.
Or some better move it and second it, then we can discuss.
Yeah. Well, move the recommendation.
I'll second the recommendation.
So like Councillor Forrest, second by Councillor Hicks. You know, you're putting a big question mark over the
Solid
side.
market and solve the box.
I would support that.
I think it was a big discussion in person.
Speaker, I think when I questioned the size of the box at the whole subdivision, I was told that that's setting the markers. If we distribution 600 square meters. That it's not, it's not allocating, and that's just what it is. But I would totally agree with you, I don't think that what it is 600 square meters.
Mr. Planner, how do we, on your recommendation to increase the size of the blocks, or is it possible,
I'll answer to you, ma'am. So looking at the surrounding land, sorting, the pretty much the surrounding land is on R5, minimum lot size of 600 square meters. So it's our understanding the applicant wants to bring that consistency across these developments with the, so currently there's on R5 with more minimum lot size. So what they seem to try to do is just try to bring that consistency across these developments. So from our point of view, or from planning point of view, I think this is a suitable outcome because it maintain the character of the water township.
can we, as a council, say the minimum lot size should be 800 square metres?
I can take a note of that, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Forrest, would that be equal to a lot, or?
I'm not a planner, just so this with 600 square boxes is probably not what for us this one in time.
Well, if you make another suggestion.
Well, I mean, we're not from about 1,000 square metres, so similar to what we've done is the gate we can drive, which obviously reduces the size of the number of boxes there substantially.
If you were to put that as part 4 of the recommendations,
I'd just like to add to that realistically, it's not exactly, while I can understand what Councillor Forrest is getting at, bigger lots are probably good. I would suggest leave it at the minimum 600, and if they're not selling, it'll speak for itself, and we can put 2 lots together and have 1,200 square metres. So I just don't, we're all being over the time with developments about saying, we're using too much prime agricultural land, and we're doing this and we're doing that. Townships, in my opinion, need to have the opportunity to have smaller lot sizes so that you're actually getting more people in there and not sprawling it out to some crazy size that doesn't necessarily need, but not everybody wants a 1,000 square metre block. Not everybody could afford a 1,000 square metre block. So I believe that we leave it as is. And if they put it at 600 square metres and that's only lots, well, then that's going to let the market speak for itself. But what, while there's obviously, wanting to go ahead, they're wanting to get a lot of more population in there. So the bigger the lot, you went from 600 to 1,000. Well, that's another 40% on, 40% less blocks you're going to yield. So there's 40% less people you're going to get in. So what are we doing? Are we trying to grow the community in a sensible size, or are we looking to spread it out over a greater amount of area and not necessarily getting benefits from it with the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff? So I think as a shire, we need to be focusing on smaller lot sizes, and I believe the market will speak for itself. If it's not going to function, no one wants 600 square metre lot. Well, lesson learned. But I think it needs to go out to the market, down to the developer, and make their decision what size they want. I don't believe the whole lot's gonna be 600 square metres, you'll probably find that there'll be a mix of lot sizes, so. I think, you know, the smaller minimum lot size, the more sensible it is to me, that, you know, that's what we're aiming for, we want to reduce urban sprawl, but I think, you know, if you found that in places like Sydney, Melbourne, they're probably wishing that 50 years ago they made a smaller lot size. There was, you know, they wouldn't be spread out as much, so we need to be a little bit sensible, a bit ahead of the game on that job. That's all I've got to say.
Further comments or suggestions?
I think, Mr. Chair, if I might, that it be, retained to be minimum lot size 600, but that's only the minimum, not standard. I think the minimum is in there. I don't like 600 square metres, I couldn't stand living in a block of 600 square metres. And I think anybody who's out of town on the land wouldn't be able to cope with it, I don't think. But if it's just in the wording, it says that it's the minimum lot size is to be 600, well, so be it.
If that probably goes with council Hicks' interpretation of the minimum is this, but there'll be could be quite a spread.
Yeah, that's right. Things like so.
So we'll leave a recommendation as it is. But,
Okay,
yeah, but-
comments related to the Ginebra economic subdivision, or it's a close, like, lot sizes, like, in the thing, from 600 up to, I think 1200, a couple of them, so hopefully it will be, that's all right.
It's affordability.
Thanks for that comment, councillor Hill. Well, no further comments, I'll put the recommendation, those in favour, those against, carried all the way. Number 4, the request for the refund of the development application fee.
With recommendation.
For the museum, moved by councillor Hicks, seconded by councillor Wilkie. Very straightforward, all in favour, those against, carried. Move on to the first one of the governance,
I'll move that recommendation.
local government election, constitution referendum.
No, it's okay.
Been moved by councillor Hicks, seconded by councillor Linda.
So then it is, look, I've got some comments. The disruption of the election cycle was not the reason that it didn't proceed previously. It was the fact that we had one ward which did not have an election. And so therefore we could not have a referendum because not everybody was to be included. So that's an incorrect statement, I believe.
Sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor. So I checked that with the Electoral Commission. So the referendum, council passed a resolution at the previous time not to continue with the referendum for a number of reasons, of which disruption of the electoral cycle was a major one. My information that I've been provided with is that the referendum could occur even if a ward is uncontested, and that's been confirmed by my contacts at the Electoral Commission. So whilst I understand Councillor Winton wants to put another proposed amendment, which is absolutely up to council, there's no impediment from an electoral legal point of view holding the referendum. They're not necessarily tied, it's just that it makes more sense to hold them at the same time, and it is a communication challenge. If a ward is uncontested, making certain that everyone understands they still need to vote. So there's complications, but it is actually correct and it is doable.
Yes, I understand that it is doable, but at that particular point in time, we had a part of the recommendation was that it not proceed if there were not 3 ward elections. That was what it was. I'm also, where are we? There's something else. Now just down here it says subsequently councils have expressed a desire to revisit this possible reform. Some councils have expressed a desire to revisit the reform, not all.
And I think that word some needs to be inserted in there. And I would like to make a recommendment that we make no change to the system, that is 3 wards and 9 councillors remain, and if I can get a seconder, I'd like that to be
But I'll just make a note here that that's making no change to this system, that is 3 wards, 9 councillors remain, that's one of the questions in the referendum.
Well, I thought there was just one question.
Currently voted in councillors divided 3 wards, that elect 9 councillors in total, and then it says, do you favour abolishing this ward system in favour of a single area consisting of all voters? Abolishing this ward and keeping 9 councillors, or making no change to this system. That is 3 wards and 9 councillors. So what you're saying is actually there. It's not. This isn't a witch hunt or trying to pull wool over everyone's eyes. The options are there to change it or keep it the same.
Yeah, I believe there are too many options. I think it should be 1 or 2. No, I think.
Well, you can't have a referendum. There's only one option. There's no choice.
Well, there should be 2. Should be 2.
Which 2 would you like?
So perhaps for clarification, if you're wanting, this is the council decision, if you're wanting to consider the wards and the councillor numbers, we need to have 3 options because there are actually 3 possible outcomes. So if you're not wanting to consider one of those variations, which is absolutely fine, then you can only have 2 questions. So it really comes down to, my understanding was that we wanted to consider a reduction in councillors potentially and or change. So for clarity, so that people reading that statement understand what they're voting for, you need to split the 3 options, the 2 options up. If you only wish to do one or the other, then that's absolutely fine. You can reduce the number of questions. So it really is up to council.
I have a question. I think I missed something somewhere along the line because I don't remember having a discussion about changing from 9 to 7.
It was mentioned at a workshop,
Oh,
Yeah.
right, so there.
and you probably went there.
And I think we have a very large shire, and if we go back to 7, I don't think that all of our communities would be represented. We have a very large area of shire, I should say, not numbers large, but areas.
Well, the option are there is either continue with 9.
I think it's confusing for people having 3 options. Just my opinion.
So
I
perhaps,
would suggest that the resolution front would give voters the opportunity to think about things. If we continue to let them not think about council, we might have no one's contest. This is a, it's not over expensive to run this with the next election. And it wouldn't come in for 4 years after that. We will give you an opportunity. If I want to campaign one way or the other, or something you want to campaign, but put thought out of the community. Councils everywhere are sort of drawing right back to themselves because nobody's interested. Because somehow raise the concept of being people stand. If they make a decision on this, it's like talk a bit of, that's more important. Anyway, did you want to have an amendment?
I just also want to note that also to be aware that this will not change until 4 years' time. It's not going to happen because it's going to happen with the current council election. So the status quo remains for the next 4 years. And then if there is a change, it will be at the election
28.
So it's not an immediate change. It's just looking to the future that there might be an issue on the
that's just one last point of clarification, that it is, if we run a council decides a knowledge referendum and one of those choices is successful, then it is binding. So that means it will be implemented that time. So that is an important consideration in putting this together.
I have another question, sorry. So if a ward is uncontested, are we still going to run the referendum? Because I think that's when it's really confusing for the voters. Yes.
We just have to make sure that there's people running in every ward, so this contest, I guess that'll give us something to do, council, you know.
Can I just have a bit of comment on this, man? Whilst there's three options there, at the end of the day, there'll only be two options for the people. You'll either stay as you are, or change, and if you want to change, you've got two choices. So whilst there's three things there, everyone has really got two choices, irrespective of which way they look at this.
Further comments?
You know, I'd like to see point one removed and just we're the outgoing wards, we're not going to wards. I'm sure I see big for certain councils. We can give the ratepayers that option.
I support that.
Well, make the amendment then.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep, so I'll move an amendment as stated, remove point one.
I'm happy to second.
So just to clarify, what we would be asking at the referendum is that currently Greater Council is divided into three wards that elect 9 councillors in total. Do you favour abolishing the ward system in favour of a single area consisting of all voters that elect 9 councillors, no change to the number of councillors, and making it number two, no change to the system of 3 wards and 9 councillors remain. So we can potentially take out the no change to the number of councillors if we're not changing the number of councillors. To that wording, if you're happy with that, just so that that's clear, because otherwise it's an odd question of the numbers changing. So.
You happy with councillor Forrest? Amendment.
Right.
That was seconded by councillor Park. Further comments or questions? Move the right reply.
No, look, I'm happy with that. I think it's the most important thing is that the ratepayers have an opportunity to have their say. That's the most important thing. Whether there's a change in council numbers or what, who knows? Perhaps when we get to 2028, there might only be 7 nominations.
I'll put the amendment first. All in favour? Those against? Clear it carried all the way. It becomes the motion of the day. I'll put it again. All in favour? Those against? Clear it carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move on to the digital water metering project.
I'll move that recommendation.
Been moved by councillor Hicks, seconded by councillor O'Neill. We've got comments, questions? If not, all in favour, those against, declare it carried all the way. Move on to the first item on the corporate and community services. New director.
Mr. Mayor, I'll happily move that recommendation.
Second.
No discussion on that. Another thing. All in favour, those against, declare it carried. Move on to the second one, the request for financial assistance, the Walla Sports Ground Management Committee.
Move the recommendation.
Seconded. Being moved by councillor Forrest, seconded by councillor Wilton. Questions, comments, councillor Linda?
Yeah, just as per the I think people might believe that the project's ready, they're looking to contribute and everything that particularly some of the revenue from the last LP actually allocated to them, and given that the community didn't receive any funding in that rank before, that we allocate $30,000 to their project as opposed to going with the line.
So we're given that back, the $22,000 now, so not to be specific with some other funding. That's why the original recommendation was up to 30, because we weren't completely certain. Did you agree that as an amendment, councillor?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, so we just need to be clear on the wording for Emily.
I think we also need to be clear on where the money's coming from, council leaders suggested that from local roads, but, there's also the solar farm, VPA, money floating around, that we could invest through that way.
Sure, so perhaps a recommendation might be that we don't proceed with the loan and look at other funding opportunities for the community or and report them back to council on that, because either way we will need to resolve that from council. And then we will look whether it's VPA or the other, so
Will that hold the project up substantially or
I can't really know what to do with those.
probably face the agenda? Yeah, no.
Could we table that to the extraordinary meeting in January?
The only issue there is that we haven't quite finalised the committee and everything with the VPA money. So I'll say probably, hopefully we will be able to do that February, that's high. And if we brief council, we will potentially be able to try, because we also want to talk about form, what, and that report should be ready by the term. So we'll be able to review the council and work out how those matters.
So we're suggesting maybe we put the loan on hold for the time being. And then, the VPA money comes through.
Well, not speaking of that, when we're sitting on the, what's wrong, there are other funds sitting to around 200K.
Yeah.
So this is, could be amendment that.
So at the moment, it appears that council will proceed with the loan, the council will look at other funding opportunities to maybe change that funding, the last one to support. Just as lots of funding words there, to support the Walla Sports Ground Committee. And move on the second hand for those funds.
Was, no.
Well, I was just gonna add a really quick one in, what would be wrong with giving them the loan and then pay the loan in once we work out where the funding's coming from? And that way there's no hold ups and, you know, if it comes March or April next year before we found the plan, then at least the project's on the move, we're not shutting the door to them to get them some funding, but at least we get them moving, rather than stall.
So we go back to the original motion.
Sounds like.
Sorry.
Well, you'll have to pay that.
Yeah, so, but we need to actually include that in the original motion.
We've got to withdraw the amendment.
Yeah.
We'd have to do the amendment, or whether one of them is probably the easiest way to sort of do it, and then we will second that.
Yeah.
So,
Do you want us to take it off?
I know, I just note underneath that it was withdrawn. So that we've got a record, because we did have a member of oh, your writing's gone off, awfully small here. That's the impossibly small writings that you can't read what's the lyrics. And so we're going back to the original recommendation. Is that what we
Yeah, you have to make some kind of amendment to the original recommendation.
Yeah, to indicate that,
Other fund,
we are going to see funding for.
approve the loan in the interim and seek further funding to pay the loan in the future. That confuse everyone?
No, that should be good enough.
maybe what we want, I think we still need the loan in the entry, that council approve. The loan, so after that. And we can actually change that to 22,000, because you know that number now, to take out the up to, sorry, just wordsmith it in the room.
And take a term or 7 years.
We'll need the term, so we
Yeah, like so,
need to have the term that's money over plus policy.
That's one.
Until.
You can say it being,
okay,
so that doesn't make sense.
Available.
Okay. So what are we saying, council? Records of council meeting. policy, in the interim until other funding options become, take up is unavailable. Does that say what you're trying to get it to say?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, the main thing is that they know that we're gonna seek funding so that they don't, or that the loan. will pay out.
We've got a move and a second for that.
Should have. Yes, we had an original, we were a seconder.
Yep.
And if they're still happy with the changes, that was
Forest and Milton.
Forest and Waters, so the original movers are happy, then we can do back to the.
No further comments? We've got all in favour, those against, declare carried. We've got number 3, staff policy, education and training policy. I'll make that recommendation. Been moved by Councillor Elizabeth, seconded by Councillor Parker. All in favour, those against, declare carried, all the way. Number 1 on the engineers program, changes to road recovery program.
Been
Moved by Councillor Hicks,
Yes.
seconded by Councillor Linden. Comments or questions?
I noted in the report somewhere that, I'm just going to find it now, that with the Colton business upgrade nearing completion, one of the state of mine market has been carried out, and the project's nearing completion, but the seal was put down over drainage losses inadequate. What's the situation there? When is additional seal going to be done?
Is this the previous there, is this the Caltex project in Colton?
Colton drainage project, so with the Colton business upgrade,
Manuscript.
the manuscript of Colton, so the seal there, those sorts of street is the 7 mil pre-code aggregate, and it's all wicked. Consumers are tracking into the businesses. I know it's one of your core set about some of your can, but can't serve at the moment, but just also set a question around that. If the project's nearing completion, then there's no intention to put a bit of seal there, is that correct?
That I take on notice, because I've had not great deal to do with that project.
Yeah.
Take that on notice, Mr. Mayor, and find out and investigate.
There's a quick question. I can tell that more than the cover here by a little while, I think we got right out somewhere in the middle of it, you know. Got to drop that place out of the band fish, so we really bad, honestly.
It's beautiful today, Councillor Byler. It's beautiful today.
It's fantastic today.
Yeah,
So the mayor's
those old things.
Good, thanks, because people were
sinking,
there.
disappearing.
Further comments on the number 1 item? If not, I'll put the recommendation all in favour. Those against, declare it carried, not to worry. The second item, changes to council vigilant sealing program.
Move Mr. Canberra.
Moved by Councillor Byler, seconded by Councillor Hicks.
I think it was Councillor Littleman that moved it, I'm not sure. Was that
Yeah. You second?
I did.
Any comments? If not, all in favour, those against, declare it carried all the way. Move on to the B section.
I move part B,
Yeah.
It's going to be like that, I need part B, C, D. We have a second, Councillor Hicks. Questions or comments?
Yeah, I've just got a question, page 37. It's just regarding the youth programs. How do you actually get wording for those? Like, does it go to the high schools and the primary schools, or is it just like a general email notification just to the broad community? Thanks.
I'm just trying to find
So that's 37.
which 37. Oh, hold on, sorry. The library one. It's from the library. We might say that we should organize a conference, I'm not seeing what having used to use the program at the moment has changed in the last few months.
Further comments or questions?
Well, we've been busy. Great month. The staff will be congratulated.
No further questions? I know I'll put B, C and D, all in favour, those against, declare it carried. Any late items, matters of urgency, etc.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to raise, about everybody's award for some.
Well, is it a matter of urgency? Or
That's the matter of urgency, Mr. Chair.
tell us a little bit about it so we can vote on it.
For those who don't follow everything water, which comes between the line, there's a move within New South Wales from big money corporates to try and take over the council water and sewer connection runs throughout the state. They have refused water, they have refused city water. However, they're now aiming for a lot of country councils or county councils to provide those services of delivering water and water. We bring water on second part in the government interview in March this year, whereby the ministers and the staff are coming together to discuss the river and water. Our opinion about whether we should allow private enterprise to take over these procedures, or whether we try and retain the actions of county councils to provide those facilities. I'd like to point out that last year river and water was selected as the most outstanding water facility in the whole state of New South Wales. We have a right to be heard, and we're asking our constituent council in Federation, Lockhart and Gravely together with Water City as a matter of urgency to please share your opinions with river and water so that we can properly represent the councils involved when this hearing takes place.
We've got council by
Well, I'll second it.
second it right out, so we're going to now discuss, we vote on this when we discuss the matter. All in favour that we discuss the matter? Yes.
Yep. I'll move to suspend standing orders, so.
I think I've said all of the people you said, Mr. Chair, we need Graham to act on your opinions of river and water so that we lay out the government inquiry that's going to take place in water. We're making the same appeal to Federation, we're making the same appeal to Lockhart, and we also have the mayor of Water City Council in our city as a constituent council of river and water, and water will be taken part of the submission.
Sorry, just as a point of information on this, we were also sort of advocating so at the regional council level, they are making submissions and advocating quite strongly on this particular point as well. So we are represented within the submissions, which are being led by the chair and the CEO of the regional organisation council as well.
So you, councillor, are you looking for something to say that Shire
That's good.
either supports with what a letter or what we talk?
Look, it can be letter, it could be in person, if it's in person, council, when it sits on the room of council, but I think in this case, you probably need a letter to say that Albert, Henty and Wallow, representative of him, and they continue being able to be supplied by river and water, which I think it can get the right to look at actually. Go up.
So,
No two ways about it.
so in support of the current river and water supply in the future. Is that?
Yeah, that's probably, we send a letter strongly that, yeah, council, the real dilemma is, in my opinion, the government's organised a committee to come and to talk to everybody in the bush, come to Walker. There's four conservative council, four conservative members of parliament down this way. they're on the committee. And, I know a fair bit about the way the government acts nowadays, after being involved in the last 12 months since they got elected. And, it's a bit of a dangerous thing. The Conservatives might all reckon this, they'll only be a certain part of the committee.
Well, it's not unsurprising that they're trying to politise these things. I'm not actually shocked that it's happening.
I basically, Mr. Porter, last year, in this pension bill.
But anyway, we can send a very strong letter to the politicians and to the committee when they meet.
Move to resume stimulus.
We move that we move Sandy Dawes, second,
Yep,
Councillor Parker.
resume sending orders before we can vote on them. Sorry, sorry, who moved in second to resume sending orders? One more, Pip's and Parker.
Now, Councillor Lyons suggesting we send strong support for the status quo to remain with the water authorities in New South Wales, in country New South Wales. We've got a second it. Councillor Wilton. All in favour? Those against? Carried all the way. We'll forward that correspondence on.
Sorry, who moved that one?
So Councillor Meyer made the recommendation and Councillor Wilton
Thank you.
seconded, and it was all in favour.
Very good. There's been no further business. Councillor Parker, you think you have to answer?
I was going to be to stay, we're moving to place council to have discussion about, especially over the chamber and council can have discussion with you.
So council meeting is in matter of emergency first, and council to decide.
Pretty.
Well, how about emergency?
Yes, we use very.
Yeah, I said no.
Don't really want to discuss it openly.
The topic is, public tips.
Yeah.
I know. All in favour?
So just to be clear, we are voting on the union council, is that what the recommendations are?
Come back and make it matter of urgency.
So we're going to move to this resolution, so we're going to, okay, so,
Right, first motion is that we move it to council. All in favour? Yeah, those against? Carried.
okay, just one second, we just need to make certain that we're out.
The next one is that, we just have to raise by
This one, just for a moment, we just need to make certain that we've paused or concluded the recording.
Let me just double check that.
We just double check that before we continue. Just bear with us for a moment. We might have to. We might have to stop it altogether.
Because there's a delay. Could just be the delay. There's a delay.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Just
You say there could be serious.
It doesn't have a
concern.
line.
Yes.
there. The camera's still rolling. It's doing the camera say on them. Unless the video.
Well, we just, if we just take the camera on, we still have audio.
Yeah.
I think we need to close it, just end the stream.